Welcome to In the Green, the podcast based on the intersection between life, finance, and the pursuit of breaking par. I am your host, Ryan Briggs with GFG Wealth Advisors. Time to tee off. Welcome back to In the Green podcast. This is our inaugural episode, and we are with our inaugural guest, Mark Green. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to talking with you.
Absolutely. We're here to have a conversation and learn a little bit about GFG Wealth Advisors and who we are and what we do. I'll lead the way here. Who's Mark Green?
You know, I guess it depends on who you ask. You
Sure.
ask my wife, and it's a different answer every day. But Mark Green is a guy that enjoys people. I enjoy helping people, always have. Very diverse. I love music. I love sports. I love playing sports. I love singing and playing piano. I am a family man. I'm a godly man. Love my church. But most of all, I think I just enjoy every day getting up, coming to the office, and helping people. And that's what really started GFG Wealth Advisors.
Beautiful. I'll also tag in. He's a man that loves to hire advisors like myself, so can't appreciate him enough for that. So as president of GFG Wealth Advisors, kind of dig in a little bit for me, and let's talk about how GFG Wealth Advisors came to be. Kind of give me some of your background in the financial industry, where you came from and how you got to where you are right now.
Absolutely. I'm a grassroots kind of guy. I graduated high school too many years ago, but the year was 1982. I was working my way through college. Mom got cancer, and so I stayed home, and which was the right decision. Lost Mom in 1987, but anyway, we going to school, working at a plastic manufacturing plant making sprinkler parts, and I knew that this wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Hard for me to envision you doing that now today.
Exactly. So, a story like this always has a girl, right? So I'm dating a girl that says, I just don't want to have a long-term relationship with a blue-collar kind of guy. And she had a friend, and it's always a friend of a friend kind of thing. And so she had a friend that worked at one of the major wirehouses, and she got me an interview. And my first interview went exactly like this. So I walk in, I sit down, and the manager says, "So tell me who Mark Green is." And so we go through the spiel, and he says, "So you played baseball in high school?" And I said, "I did." And he said, "Do you play softball or anything now?" And I said, "I do." And he says, "What position do you play?" And I said, "Just about anything other than pitcher. I haven't pitched in softball, but I can play shortstop, I can play third, I can catch, I can do whatever." He said, "What are you doing Wednesday?" And I said, I don't know. What do you need?" And he said, "Why don't you come play softball with us? You've got the job." And that's exactly how I got in the business.
Oh, that's a beautiful
in
thing.
1985. That's exactly how I got in the business. And so I was in operations from 1985 until 1994. And in 1990, Sherry and I, my wife and I, we moved to Bryan College Station with a 3-month-old baby because the firm I was working for was shutting down the Central Service Center there in Garland, in Dallas, where I lived. And so we moved to Bryan College Station. The rest is history, as they say. We've been here since 1990. We had another child, so it's my wife and I and my 2 daughters. And here we are. It's been great. And in May of 2019, Sherry and I decided to open GFG Wealth Advisors after having been in the wirehouse platform for so many years. And I'll tell you what, I wish I'd have done it 20 years ago. Helping people, doing the things that we're able to do, owning the business, having the autonomy of doing what we want to do and need to do to help people at either their lowest or their highest point is really what GFG Wealth Advisors is all about.
Perfect. So you really value the independence of owning your own business and operating your own business how you see fit,
Absolutely, Ryan. It's having been in a couple of the major wirehouses, there's always headline risk, and there's things that are out of your control.
Sure.
And not that, there are absolutely positives about working at wirehouses. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to bash that. What I am going to tell you is that, whether it's a major wirehouse, whether it's independent, whatever, the difference between the two is just so vast, because in a major wirehouse, you're subject to their compliance, you're subject to whatever they do, you're just subject to their rules and regulations, and they have their own, whether they have social issues or political issues or whatever, their agenda that they're pushing. With GFG Wealth Advisors, we are who we are. and it's because of Mark and Sherry Green and Ryan Briggs and the Josh Reinbolts and the other people that are in our office, and I'll talk to you a little more about that later. But I'm able to hire the people that I think best fit what our goals, what we want to do for people. I want to protect our reputation in the community. I've been here 33 years, and I want to protect that. And so the autonomy of being able to make those decisions at a local level was very important to me.
Sure. I think we'll speak to a lot of the entrepreneurs out there in the world where they feel that they want to be the overseer of their own business. You don't like to have people telling you exactly what you need to be doing every day. You like to be able to live your life how you want to, and there's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
So you alluded to it just a little bit ago, but as far as GFG Wealth Advisors go, what does the makeup of that look like? Who works there? How do we operate? Just fill us in there.
Well, it's crazy. So it was Sherry and I for probably the first 2 years, from 2019 to 2021. It was just Sherry and I.
And Sherry's been in the finance world as well.
She has. In fact, that's where we met, was at the major wirehouse in 1985, 86. We met, started dating, got married in 1989. And Sherry she is our sales assistant.
Okay.
Basically, she's the operations manager. We do what she tells us to do. Let's just call it like it is. And so Sherry was in the TV advertising business for about 20 years. And in 2017, she came home and she said, things are changing so much. It's going from TV advertising to streaming and commercials on the internet and that sort of thing. And she said, it's just changing, and I'm at a point 20 years into this that I want to do something different.
Sure.
And so she retired in 2017. We looked around, tried to find something for her to do. She's always had the dream of having a retail shop, and thank goodness we didn't do that because of COVID and that sort of thing.
Would have been pretty rough timing to open a retail shop in 2019.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so in 2018, the wirehouse that I was at, they were going through some headline risk. Even though I wasn't in their building, I was in our own building separate, there was some headline risk, and my clients were getting a little antsy.
And when you say headline risk for the viewers out there, exactly what do you mean by that?
Well, let's just say there was a major wirehouse that was the local, well, not just the local people, but nationwide. Some accounts were getting open, some things were happening, and clients were not aware of it. Mm-hmm. And though I wasn't sitting in the bank building, I was in a separate building completely away from the bank because their name was on my door. My clients were calling in and saying, hey, do I have any of these accounts? Do I have any of these credit cards? Anything like that happened for me? Mm-hmm. And so that's what the headline risk is.
So they say any publicity is good publicity, but that's not necessarily true.
That's not necessarily true.
Got it.
And so in late 2018, a headhunter called me and said, hey, have you ever thought about going independent? And I said, no, I haven't, but now would probably be a good time to start talking. And Shannon Spotswood from RFG Advisory was the first person to call me. We had a conversation in March of 2019. Sherry and I went to Birmingham, Alabama, where they're based, and had dinner with Bobby, Shannon, Rick, Paul Yeager, and 2 or 3 other folks, marketing, recruiters, president of the company, chief operating officer, chief investment officer. We all had dinner. And I will tell you, Ryan, it's probably one of the most surreal experiences that I ever had, because Sherry and I went in skeptical. I'd always been in a wirehouse or been in a major bank channel. We sit down at this restaurant, club overlooking Birmingham, and we sit down, they serve the meal, and I scoot up to the table and I'm getting ready to start eating. And Bobby White, the president of the company, says, Mark, do you mind if we pray? I said, not at all. I love that.
Yeah, you don't see that much nowadays.
You don't see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right then and there, we knew that we were in a really good place. Weren't sure that it was the right place, but it was a really good place. Their values met our values. We finished the dinner. The next day, we had our meeting, all-day meeting with all the different departments at RFG. And when we got on the plane to come home, we sat down. And Sherry says, was that real? I mean, is that really how it is?
It's a good reaction, I guess.
Is that what this RFG advisory team is going to be like? And I will tell you, from day one, it has been like that. We made our decision. We moved over in May of 2019. The rest is history. I mean, here we are almost 4.5 years into it, and couldn't be happier. And I think they've grown, we've grown, Our values match up. They keep bringing brand new technology that, heck, I don't understand. That's why I have to hire younger guys like you. But keep us focused on the future and moving us forward. And, with guys like you and with RFG on our team, we know that the future is really, really great for us. We don't get left behind. And so that's kind of how GFG Wealth Advisors all came about. It all goes back to the headline risk, headhunter calling, Sherry looking for something to do, and so she and I opened the business in May of 2019.
Beautiful. Well, glad you did.
Yeah.
Glad you pulled
we are
the trigger.
Too.
Yeah.
We are too.
So this brings us to a good point. Let's talk a little bit more about how GFG is comprised. You mentioned RFG in there as well. So for everybody listening at home and in the car, wherever you are, let's kind of dive into that relationship and how it works and how RFG helps us provide for our clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So GFG Wealth Advisors, we are an independent office. We don't have the licenses to trade through the New York Stock Exchange, through NASDAQ, through the various exchanges. So we have to have somebody do that for us. And that's where RFG Advisory comes into place. We have custodians that we can use, formerly TD Ameritrade that became Schwab. We can use Schwab, we can use Fidelity. And then on the individual side, commissionable side, transactional side, we use Pershing or Private Client Services.
Sure.
And the way that RFG fits in is RFG is our back office operations. They handle our compliance. They make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. They help us a lot with our marketing. They do all of our, making sure our transfers are done correctly when things come in or out. They make sure that they provide support as far as for Sherry when there's things that she needs help with as administrative. She works.
We throw her some curveballs.
That's right. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. So that's how RFG plays in. We have to have RFG as our partner. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we would have to go find someone else to do that. And so GFG wouldn't go away, but RFG, if we didn't have them, we certainly wouldn't be as effective, and our clients certainly wouldn't recognize such great support and such things for the future. I mean, I had a client call yesterday and has needs for alternative investments. Other places can't serve alternative investments.
Sure.
And so RFG has that available. And so it's just they give us the tools and the weapons we need to move forward with all their investment future.
Sure. And just to tack on to what Mark's saying, in my time with GFG Wealth Advisors, having a partner like RFG, it gives us all of the weapons in our chest to compete with anybody nationwide, yet having the small office like we do, you really get that small personal feel. I think it allows us to really do a lot of different things and be customizable, yet effective as anybody you would find. So talking about the advisors in the office, you've got yourself as the president. You've been an advisor for a while. You brought on myself as an advisor. We've also got another advisor. If you want to speak about Josh a little bit.
Sure. So it was Sherry and I, and then we hired a student to answer the phone. And we've had 3 students, and Reagan is leaving us on Friday. I'm very sad about that.
We're all sad there.
Reagan's been with us about 3 years, and what a tremendous asset she's been to us. She will be missed. But nonetheless, it was the 3 of us. And then a couple of years ago, Josh started in February of 22. So it would have been the summer of 21 with president changes at A&M and that sort of thing. Josh worked for the Association for Students. He was the guy that went ahead of game day on road trips, and he would set up the tailgates and that sort of thing, and then load all that stuff up and bring it back. And his job changed with a president change, and like he likes to say, he was raised friends and funds for Texas A&M University. And his role was changing, and he was looking for a change. And I just thought that, he's a quality guy. I've known Josh probably for the last 6 or 7 years, with his contacts, with his outlook, and with his need to help people, to always be there, be service-oriented. He would fit perfectly with GFG Wealth Advisors. And then fast forward probably a year after that, because probably the summer of 22 when you and I talked. Mm-hmm. And, I would come out here to Traditions and play golf. And you would see me and you say, hey, tell me what you do. And so we talked a little bit about that. And you said, I noticed there's other advisors here and they're playing with their friends or they're playing with their clients or, whoever. And I said, well, today I'm playing with a prospect and, I get to mix. And he said, well, and Ryan says, well, how do I do that? What?
For the viewers at home, the place where we're currently sitting is Traditions Club in Bryan College Station. I have alluded previously that I used to be in the golf business, and this is where I was the head professional. So we've come full circle here. Sorry, to interrupt you.
No, perfect. So you and I started the conversation, and we talked for several months. And you had expressed to me that you really love the golf business. You enjoyed helping people, and I said, well, you can help people over here too, and you can still play golf. And
it was intriguing.
And the light went off. And so, and I'll let you speak to your personal situation, but I just knew that in my dealings with you, from the first time that I met you, you knew my name. Every time I came to the club, you knew my name. And I noticed around the club that you knew everybody's name. And that's the type of service person and the attention to detail that is very good for this business. And I knew that you would be excellent for GFG Wealth Advisors. And so, time came to pass. You came to me and said, hey, I'd like to do this. And so we went down that road, and you started with us in June of last year.
Perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way. And, I can say that, we really have a good team here. And I don't use the word team lightly because, between Sherry, Josh, yourself, and myself, we all assist all of our clients. It's not like my clients only deal with me, only work directly with me. Of course, we run point on our clients, but for the most part, it really is a holistic approach, and you get everybody's support in the whole office. So I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a blast. So, well, thank you for coming on and just talking to us about who GFG Wealth Advisors truly are and adding some detail to it. I want to thank everybody for listening. Make sure to like, share, and download wherever you get your podcast from, and hope to see you in the 19th hole. Thanks for listening to our episode today. Make sure to like, share, and download our episodes wherever you get your podcasts, and we'd really appreciate a review. Hope to see you in the 19th hole. Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized finance advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. This commentary reflects the personal opinions, viewpoints, and analysis of GFG Wealth Advisors. It does not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, Private Client Services, or their clients or their employees. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by GFG Wealth Advisors or RFG Advisory or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services are offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services, GFG Wealth Advisors, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.